Pickacard. What do people say when you leave the room? Here are your 4 options. This is a collaboration with Rose from the Abyss Tarot.
Okay.
Friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, you chose this lovely image on the right-hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. What do people say when you leave the room? They ask, is pile 1 from here? Where are they going? They wonder what's going through your mind because you seem preoccupied. They want to know, do you model? People intuitively know you're about to travel, leave the country, or fly the coop. You have a big destiny ahead. Popular loner vibes. You could be androgynous, demisexual, sapiosexual. I actually heard bisexual as well. Then I saw the movie Superman, and I can't remember really if it was the movie or the show, but basically it's a portion where Clark Kent, well, he's actually Superman at this point, is trying to learn how to fly, and he's crashing into things. So something about people have seen you like rehearse or practice or try things, and you've only gotten better and better and better, okay, to the point where you can fly now. And people know this about you. So people also like to talk about how brave you are. And those were the things that came as downloads during the beginning portion of your reading. So now we're going to go ahead and get some more information. If this sounds like you, or if this is you, then go ahead and stick with me through the shuffle and your subsequent reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you are new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful or encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, thank you guys so much once again for just being so patient and so kind to me. I really do appreciate it. Now, if you guys missed the intro, today is a collaboration I've been super excited about. It is with the Abyss Tarot. I'm going to link her channel in the description box as well. So be sure to go to her channel and check out what Rose has going on at her channel. I love it. It's got like totally my vibe. It's a little spooky. She's accurate as can be. So I'm excited to do this collab. Also, if you guys are interested in these cards, these are gifts from the Abyss Tarot. Rosie actually gifted us these cards, so we'll be seeing what they look like. And if you enjoy them, make sure you hit up her channel. They are available for purchase. So pile number 1, what do people say when you leave the room? You have the 6 of Cups. And you have the 3 of Coins. So people want to know, when you leave the room, people want to know, oh, do you know that person from a long time? How long have you known them? They want to know your history with other people in the room. If this is the first time meeting you, they want to know like how deep that connection goes so that they can find out more about you. They also like really pay extra attention to the tone of whomever they're trying to cozy up to, because of course it's like whomever we get our information from, it's like we consider the source, right? And in the same way, I feel like people go to other people that they really trust and they hope that they're really close to you so that they can gain more information. And most especially, they tend to hover around you and tend to hover around people that know you the longest. They would like stories about your past. So they want to know about your past, about your history, about your connection to the people that they're talking to, just to get a baseline. So something about your past, maybe your childhood, maybe also they want to know if you have any children. They want to know like your history. Seems a little bit invasive, but I kind of expected that doing this type of reading. So let's see what else we have. Pile number 1. Fairy of the Highlands. It's time to be brave. Yeah, I feel like maybe you could be someone that doesn't really talk about your past or yourself very much. And so even if you spent a lot of time with new people, let's call them new, like people that you've met the past 3 years, they're still trying to like uncover you. They're trying to uncloak you. They're trying to unwrap you, unveil you. They're really trying to understand whom you are. And that's why I feel like they go to other people, right, in order to get more information about you. I don't feel like it's necessarily like dirt at all, not yet, but we'll see with these cards coming up. Let's see, because I've just flipped through these cards. I haven't like looked at them all. And then also they want to know, like, who do you cooperate with? Like, who do you collaborate with? Who are your friends? The 3 of Pentacles to me is like 3 cogs working together. So it's like, who do you invest your time with? Who are the people closest to you? And these people, when you leave the room, they kind of want to cozy up, or they want to observe and make an assessment of the other people that you hang out with. I'm hearing naturally. Okay. So you must be quite the eye catcher. So pile number 1. What do people say when you leave the room? The hedgehog. How cute. You might get a drunk text for Netflix and chill. They want to show you something. I bet they do. And then albatross. You're going on a spiritual journey. So tap in and enjoy the vacay. Have the good trip and don't trip. This is cute. So yeah, they could want to know, again, like, who are you Netflix and chilling with? You have boyfriend, girlfriend, you have somebody, right? Do you have anybody, that kind of a thing. They want to know what kind of people do you really enjoy being around, and they want to see if they kind of can bench that, or if they can match that energy so that they can actually make themselves more enticing to you. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know if I would say necessarily like negative energy. I just think that people are curious so far. So I don't feel anything like negative. Yeah, but they want to know about your spirituality too. Like, are you a Christian? Are you a witch? Are you vegan? I'm hearing. Are you pescatarian? So people want to know more about your fundamental belief system is what I'm really getting right here. So if you're liking these kind of readings, please do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. That would really help the algorithm to kind of promote this channel a little bit more. And also don't forget to click that little notification bell so that you get notified when I drop further readings. So what do people say when you leave the room? Being angry is like holding coal in your hands, expecting the other person to feel the pain. Be open to receive and watch the universe provide. So people could be saying that maybe it looks like you're closed off, you're difficult to get to know, that even if they spent like, let's say a picnic or a lunch and you were on the right or left hand side of them, they didn't really get to know any more about you than when they originally sat down. So it could be, yeah, again, you're getting hard to know, like that facade is really hard to crack is what I'm getting. They could also feel like maybe perhaps you have an anger problem, or that you could get angry with them, and this could be just projection. Again, we're getting only other people's perspectives, right? But also I feel like people want to know like who gives what to you. It seems like you are well taken care of, that you like, people are really fond of you, and people notice, even if it's like not overt, right, that you have a lot of things, or that you're well respected in the community, or you're well cared for. And people really want to know, it's like, well, how do they get like that? Well, do people give them things? I mean, I'm feeling like people think that you are privileged. Oh, pretty privileged. Okay, that's making perfect sense right now. So people could think that you have pretty privilege, and they want to kind of discuss it. And they also want to discuss like your level of intelligence. Like, is pile number 1, are they really super smart, or is that all we have, is like what we see is what we get, or is there more to it? Why do people favor them? Why do people give them things? I'm actually pulling out a whole different deck here because I just thought about it. So why not? Okay. This one is called the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. And that's by a creator. You can find it on Amazon. So let's get a little bit more. What do people say when you leave the room? Because it's pretty clean so far. I expected these guys to get messy. What do people say when you leave the room? I'm intrigued. I'd love to get to know them more. What do they like to cooperate and collaborate on? What do they like to watch when they do indeed Netflix and chill? Seven of Wands. This is my lone wolf card, okay? So the lone wolf says, I'm going to do whatever I got to do, whatever I want to do, and I'm not going to adhere to anybody else's rules, anybody else's paradigms, anybody else's belief system. And so with the Seven of Wands right here, it's like you are standing above the crowd and you can ward off anything that comes towards you. And so it seems like you could be very fierce, or you could have this like really potent energy that people really know automatically not to cross you, not to F with you, that sort of thing. You could have like campaigned for causes, right? It seems like this person is campaigning for a cause. And it's like whatever you believe in, you will go up against anyone toe to toe because it's what you believe in and you believe that that is right. And people want to know more about that. It's like, well, you seem to be standing on the high ground. And so who gave you that high ground and how high exactly are you standing? It's like they want to make an assessment of everything. I'm going to pull two more cards here. What do people say when you, pile number one, leave the room? What do they say when you leave the room? Show me now. The Nine of Blades. Okay. It's almost like they get really stressed out. Is it time to leave? Are they, are they going to leave? Are you going to leave? I don't know if that's like a pug or a cat. But either way, it's like they want to know if you have, like, what kind of history do you have? What kind of background? Did you have any history with, like, addiction and things like that? You could have purple hair, or the people inquiring about you could have purple hair. You could have really nice nails or nice hands. They want to inquire about that. Also, the razor blade. It could seem like people want to ask, it's like, have you ever dabbled in any recreational use of whatever, right? They want to know how many tattoos you have. What maybe stresses you out. They want to know if you're on any medication or have you ever popped pills, things like that. And I'm looking at the barbed wire right here. It seems like you're very self-contained with the number 10, like 10 minutes on the clock right now. That could mean something for some of you guys. They want to know like what endings have you had in your life, which is really interesting because that's kind of nosy, don't you think? I mean, I would be like, yeah, don't be asking about my friend's business. Ask her or him. That's just a lot to want to know. Okay, what do people say when you leave the room? The Tower. They are lambasted. I feel like they feel stressed when you leave the room. It's almost like, oh my gosh, I got to call so-and-so. Did you know that pile number one was here and here and they said this and that? It's like they want to make contact with other people. It's like I had a pile number one sighting and all of a sudden it's like everything is unraveling and people are kind of freaking out and people around me were acting weird and I want to know more about this. It's like if they don't know, then they want to know. And these bricks are falling as well. So it's almost like you have like a very powerful impact. I won't be surprised if you were like very tall or a person of few words. But when you do speak, everybody listens. I also feel like you could not be someone who is necessarily on the gentle side of like words. You're going to say whatever it is that you want to say. And this could like serve to a lot of times like offend or shock or surprise or reveal things to other people that they don't really know how to handle. And I feel like they themselves require counsel after you leave. Yeah, it's like they don't really know what to think. Their heads are not screwed on straight. So they reach out for a lifeline, that kind of a thing. And then with all of this lightning happening right here, I feel like you could bring things to light that other people would be really stunned. It's almost like this casual encounter led to this huge demise. It's almost like the foundation that they're standing on is like faulty. So you could be like my conspiracy theory people, air quotes if you're not watching the camera. You could be someone who brings attention to, like, for example, if you're hanging out and everybody's eating sushi, and they decide to have a bowl of teriyaki and rice or something like that, they could be like, well, do you know that SeaWorld left behind, you know, the orcas, and this happened, and whatever, just things like that, that would really kind of like shock people. But I don't feel like you do it for the shock value. It's just the way you are. Okay, sloth. Okay. Don't sit there holding on to the past while life passes you by. Remember, keep pushing so that you can pass and collect 200. Yeah. So it's like people know that you're not going to stay in one place. And that has a lot to do with the download that I got originally. And I got that download by looking at the buildings around her. It's like she's going to fly and overcome and surpass her surroundings. And people know this. So it's like a very short amount of time to get to know you. But in the process, I feel like people get close to you. Oh my goodness. Who was the one that flew next to the sun and flew so high that he melted or got his wings melted or something like that? Ericus, something like that. Anyways, bear. So shirt is telling you whatever challenges have you gone through, lick your wounds. Oh, spirit is telling you, girl, I can't read. I got my glasses on too. Keep your head high and continue with more strength from this. Yeah. So you have definitely a lot of strength. This is like mama bear energy as well. Again, the protective energy, you could like stand for something, and under no uncertain terms, you allow people, you know, to know that about you, and you're not ashamed about it. You're not defined by it either. It's just normal part of your routine. But for some reason, people get really close because they think, oh, who are they close to? Who's their connection? Where did they grow up? And what do you know about their past? And all of a sudden, it's like a ripple effect, okay? So they get in really close to you, and all of a sudden, it's like they get shook as well. And I also feel like you might have some looky-loos, because I'm looking out the forest, and I actually see this big person just like eyeballing right through the branches. So yeah, but that is what I have. You could be somebody who knows that you have stalkers, by the way, and it is just, you know, life for you. Life goes on. So that's what I have. Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to go to Rose's portion of her reading, and you're going to visit the Abyss Tarot. I'll put the link down below. Again, hello, and tell her I said hi, by the way. Until next time, namaste.
Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Grisel with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 2. You chose this lovely image on the right hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. What do people say when you leave the room? You could have very clean aesthetics, sleek hair, monochrome clothing and or hair. Very Matrix-like. Think Neo, questioning things, changing and evolving, and so are you. You could be a deep thinker and just like small talk. You could be in technology development, IT, programming, software, hardware, anything like that. You could be deep and mysterious, and no one knows what you're really thinking. You're very agile and highly underestimated. Pile number 2, if this is you or if this sounds like you, go ahead and stick with me for the shuffle and your subsequent reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome. If you are new to my channel, then I'm so glad that you're here. Hopefully you'll find something that is helpful, hopeful. And if you guys are indeed my repeat offenders, I am so grateful to have you here. Now, you guys, if you missed the intro, this is a collaboration with the Abyss Tarot. That's why you have 4 options today, because Rosie likes to do 4. 4 options. And in fact, right before I started filming, I saw the number 4 in the woods. So that might be very relevant or important to you, because I saw the number 4 apostrophe S. So you might be seeing a lot of 4s during your waking moments or dream state. I don't know. Okay. So pile number 2, what do people say? What do people say when you leave the room? You have the Queen of Cups. And you have what? The 9 of Coins. So people really want to talk about how in tune you are, how people feel connected to you. It's almost like you know what they're going to say before, or how receptive you are, or how surprised they feel that they spent so little time with you, and all of a sudden they're spilling their guts and they're like, what was that? So I'm going to say that some people feel like they're under a magic spell when they come around you, especially if they don't know you initially. It could be quite shocking that they are willing to be so drawn, so pulled in by you. And with the Queen of Cups right here, this queen has been all the different stages of the cup suits, right? Been in love with love, and learned how to master love, and learned how to apologize, and, you know, hold their own power, that sort of thing. And now you're in the Queen of Cups receptive mode. Very careful with whom you give your energy to. There's a lot of mystery behind her. It's almost like people want to discuss and know. It's like, well, is she psychic? Because the Queen of Cups is a psychic card. I think a lot of times we tend to forget that as well, right? And so there's a lot of regality here. And even with her crown, they're like faces. This deck is by Lilith and the Machine. You can find it on Etsy. But if you look, there's like people on her crown. And I just wonder, pile number 2, that I would not be surprised if they also talk about like your spirituality, and maybe even how you have ancestors on your side, or they want to discuss like your heritage and things like that. But if they don't do that overtly, then I feel like this is definitely something that sticks with them and they think about later on down the road. Yeah, that you seem incredibly mysterious. People also want to know, what do you do for a living? Because with the 9 of Coins, the 9 of Pentacles is about somebody being very self-sufficient. You don't ask a lot from other people. You don't need things. You kind of like do your own thing. I heard self-promote, and that's good, right? You are somebody who is very well known to be like independent, love the lap of luxury, right? But you're a hard worker. You like strive for it. You work hard for it. You roll up your sleeves and you do things. So you could be somebody who gets discussed as far as like what you do for a living, because people want to know that. And people also want to know when you leave the room, like not only what do you do, because that seems to be the common theme that we ask about people when we don't really know them. But it's like, well, what are they up to now? So people that do know you, when you leave the room, it's like, oh, hey, do you know what pile number 2 is up to now? Because it seems like you have very guarded thoughts, or your ideas are very protected, or you could really be of the mindset that I'm not going to speak on it until it actually manifests, until I bring it on down to earth. So a lot of people don't really know what it is that you're about or what it is that you're creating, but I get this energy from you that you are constantly coming up with something new, and people are shook by that, because let's face it, most of us like to, you know, sit down, kind of watch TV or the YouTube, right? We like to just sit and scroll endlessly, or watch YouTube or whatever it is that we're watching. But it takes a lot of effort to work on a creative project or creative idea, or, you know, if we're not working, to get up and do something else. And I definitely feel that even if you, pile number 2, have like a 9 to 5, I feel like you have a lot of things going on, a lot of ideas. And I feel like every time I look at this card also, I see that those to me almost look like lemons. And I feel like people would also want to know about like your life, because surely you can't have been born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And I feel like other people would say, no, pile number 2 actually is very down to earth, very in touch, very empathic, and that you simply have, you know, ideas or connections to source, to spirit, in order to bring those into the 3D world. And so that's what they want to talk about, is all of your ideas and your aspirations. And do you share them with anyone? And are they privy to what is coming up next? So yeah, you would be the talk of the town if you're new to the town or the city. So pile number 2, what do people say when you leave the room? Autumn is my last chance. Please don't lose hope. Okay, so you could be that light, that beacon for other people. I'm looking, and it almost kind of like simulates the forest where I'm living at, by the way. But it is now, we're in full swing of summer, Northern Hemisphere over here. And I'm just going to say that, again, there's something about like people knowing that they don't have a lot of time or a lot of chances to be able to ask other people about you. And so they really want to talk about like, where do you come from? They want to talk about like the hardships of your life and how were you able to overcome this? They want to like find that fine thread to relate to you, but not to do you wrong or anything. I feel like it's more to feel inspired, like, well, I could do that too. Now I'm looking right here, and she's holding this red apple right here, and I'm being led to think about Snow White, right? And how she was given a poisonous apple by her stepmother. And so this could be even, they want to talk about like your family of origin and things like that. Like if other people know anything about it, if there was strife there, so that they can kind of connect to it and really understand and relate. So they want also like an explanation of why they feel so drawn to you and so comfortable with like maybe bearing their soul or sharing things that they typically don't share with other people, but they don't feel like it was two-sided. It's like they shared, and you fulfilled something. It's like, wow, you really heard them. They feel heard and understood. But in the form of like relating, I feel like you kept your cards close to your chest, or you keep your cards close to your chest, and you don't take it any further unless you feel the need to, right? And so people want to know, and they want to dig because of that energy. It's like they feel connected to you. But then all of a sudden they realize, oh crap, like pile number 2 didn't say anything about them. And the whole time we were talking, it was all about me. And oh my gosh, I'm such a dork. I can't believe I just went on about that. So I feel like you would have this almost hypnotic reaction on other people. And when you leave, or they leave the area, then all of a sudden it's almost like a spell is broken, and they ruminate over the conversation that they've had with you and realize that it was all really about them or how they gave to you. Yeah, and they weren't really there to reciprocate. And honestly, I feel a little bit like horrified energy, like, oh my gosh, party foul, it was all about me. So pile number 2, if this sounds like you, or if this is you, if you can take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, don't forget to go to the Abyss Tarot for her portion of the collaboration. So I will link it below so you can have it. And tell her I said hi. And for those of you that are coming from her channel, a very warm welcome to you. I love her channel. She is so accurate. Sometimes, honestly, I've had to click off because I know I'm about to get my feelings hurt because she's going to read me the rights, right? Not in a mean way, but she's just that good. So, pile number 2, Black Panther. You are so, and have mediumship abilities that are, that you're starting to discover. So this is what people sense about you, and they want to talk about other people with that. It's like, well, do you feel that connected to pile number 2? Because it's almost like it's pouring out my soul, and all of a sudden it's like, whoever they're talking to, they're like, yeah, that happens all the time. And pile number 2 has a knack for that. And actually they're empathic, or they're very psychic, or they read tarot, or they're mediums, whatever it is that you do. And that's how the nature of the conversation is going to go. But they also want to talk about like your luxuries, like have you monetized that, or what does that look like? And especially people want to know, like, not only are you single and ready to mingle, but they want to know, like, what do you do in your free time? It's like, why do you spend so much time by yourself? What do you do in your free time? They want to know this. Pile 2, fish. Damn, Gina, no more swimming. Abundance and prosperity is going to come to you from spirit. Yeah, it's coming to you from spirit. So that's the fish. Yeah, just keep swimming. I think about Dory and Finding Nemo, right? And it's like, you don't have to look anymore. It's almost like abundance and prosperity comes to you directly from spirit. And so that, again, coincides with what we talked about. It's like, what do people give you? Like, how are you gifted? Things like that. And it's like, you don't ask for anything, but things come to you naturally. If you need, I don't know, whatever. If you need a car, if you need, you know, this or that, people are like giving you things left and right, or here's a gift certificate for that, or I have a connection for this. And it seems like fate and fortune are smiling upon you, and people can sense this in you. Okay, so what else do we have? Yeah, your abundance. I feel like people could feel that you are rich, even if you're somebody that, like, even if you troll like resale places, or consignment places, or vintage places, or thrift stores, doesn't make a difference. Even if all of your clothing and items come from places like that, or, you know, on a barter system, people really want to know where and how you go about this stuff. Everything gets wrapped around the appearance of abundance and profitability, and how high end you are, and how people can feel even that they too are high end simply by being around you. It's phenomenal. Angel, I knew this was going to happen. And one of the piles, 555. The challenging phase in your life is about to pass, with the number 48, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the number 12 reduces to a 3. Okay, so cooperation, collaboration. I feel like people see that your life is smoothing over. Yeah. And that maybe that you've not had it easy, and people want to talk about that. The more that they dig into you, into your past, into your history, or the more they communicate out of curiosity with mutual friends and things like that, they really want to know, wow, what changed? How come pile number 2 is here? And why do they seem just so put together and so at peace? And so, oh wait, they're not rich. How come they feel regal? It's like royalty, like talking to royalty. I don't get it, that sort of thing. Okay. So pile number 2, life is full of illusions. So use your discernment. Yeah. So this could be, even her finger is almost to her lips, and it's interesting because it's almost like we don't want to say a lot. And I feel like this has a lot to do with your gifts as well. Like people that know don't really want to gossip or talk a lot about you, especially not in the negative way, because they know that you are connected to spirit, to source, and that you will kind of red flag that right away. You'll be onto it. I know that a lot of times I will get that notification that you know, people are saying stuff about me, and I just know. And so it is what it is. I feel like pile number 2, you are definitely somebody who's definitely connected, plugged in. Your ancestors don't mess with you, and don't allow other people to mess with you either. That on the forefront, that you are always connected spiritually to them, and that they will protect you. And so when people do start talking mess about you, that you'll get that notification almost like on your phone. Not quite right, but your spirit will know that somebody's been talking mess about you. So let's just pull a couple more out of this deck. Oh, they came together. So 6 of Cups, here we go with the Queen of Cups. They want to know. It's like, where did you come from? What is your history? What is your history look like? Your childhood look like? Do you have siblings? And the King of Cups, do you have somebody? Do you know, it seems like that's a pair right here. The Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, they want to know, do you have a partner? What do they look like? What actually are they like? Are they psychic too? Are they in tune as well? Do they feel like luxury? Do they feel like loyalty? Or are they just kind of like, this one's like an artist and he's just kind of chill and down to earth, and yet you could be so very different, and people really want to talk about that. They also want to talk about, do you currently have like a family? Not only the family of origin, but do you have a family right now that you are raising, or that are grown, or whatever the case is? But they want to know a little bit more about your connection to them, because it's just all curiosity. It's like, who could be around somebody who exudes like this energy 24/7, and they want to know more about you? That to me is very interesting. Also, she's got a lot of blue around her temples right here, and so this can tell me a little bit about how you articulate things, that you could be not super verbose, but when you do communicate, it's very giving, very emotionally healing to people. And people love that about you. And that's why they really want to actually talk and gossip. Like, really, I was expecting a lot more negative stuff, but thus far, I'm happy to notice that that's not the case. So yeah, that is what I have. Much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Grisel with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3, you chose this lovely image on the right hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. What do people say when you leave the room? Pile number 3, people can't take their eyes off of you. I also heard that people try to replicate your vibe, copycat energy. They try to copy your aesthetics, your speech, the words that you utilize, the things that you eat, maybe the same water bottle, or, going to the same gym, or the same shoes that you have, clothing. Also your hair, the cut and color. People just overall try to be you. And it could start out as like very small, like almost kind of like, oh, that's cute that you would notice it. But eventually I feel like you would be really shook at how deep the rabbit hole goes with this thing. Now, you could have several friends and relatives that mimic you online or pretend to be you. I also heard that destiny swapping is real. And pile number 3, unfortunately, this is at its finest. It's like you could be somebody who is the object of, right? People are focused on this whole destiny swap. And if you know anything about that, typically it's people that are very close to us, that are like best friends, or people we work a lot of hours with, or relatives that we've been close to. It's not going to be complete strangers. Yeah. And so the one example that I was given, pile number 3, is that Valeria Marquez. And if you don't know, that was a 23-year-old girl that was betrayed and unalived by several people, not limited to her, the person that she employed, and also her, quote, bestie, who basically was a carbon copy of her. Like, she just stole her look, everything, basically. And so that kind of a vibe. So rest in peace, Valeria, if you guys are familiar with that. That's been so sad to follow. But anyways, if this sounds like you, or if this sounds intriguing, then pile number 3, stay tuned for the shuffle and your subsequent reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you find something that is helpful or something that is encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, thank you guys so very much for all your love, your support, the donations, all the things. I also want to, of course, especially give a shout out to the Abyss Tarot. This is a collaboration with her. I've been a fan of her channel for a long, long time. So after this reading, or before, right, if you can click on her link, I'll leave that in the description box so you guys can go to her reading to see her portion of this reading. Also, I'd like to thank her for actually donating these cards for us, right? Animalistic Desires and Messages with Adam. She sent me like 5, 6 decks, so, and then she donated these as well. So we'll be using these as well. All right, so what do people say when you leave the room? Pile number 3. You have the 9 of Cups. What? And you have the 8 of Wands. People get starstruck by you. A little bit of, I know that's typically the Queen of Wands, but I feel like the 9 of Cups is basically, yeah, that makes sense actually with your download. I feel like people look at you and they think, wow, that is somebody that I could really be with, or I'd love to be her best friend or his best friend, or I'd love for them to be my partner, that sort of thing. I would love to be, like, automatically it is, I think that the consensus says that people feel like you are their wish fulfillment. Something about regality as well. I'm hearing options, that you have a lot of choices and options. Then we have the Eight of Wands right here. Eight of Wands talks about travel, right? And look at all this red hair. And you could look like either one of these two people with like piercing eyes, very fair skin, doesn't necessarily have to be. But people could really talk about like where you're from. Maybe you have an accent or you're bilingual, trilingual. Maybe perhaps you have a lot of stamps on your passport and they're fascinated by this. And when you leave the room, it's like people want to know, well, who is that? Because that's the kind of person I've been looking for, even though they don't know it, like they think and they feel automatically. It's like, that's a person I've been waiting on my whole life, that sort of thing, which really sounds dramatic. But when you think about it, when you get a feeling about a person, especially in the moment, you don't have time to process it. It's like, wow, that, I want that, right? We don't take everything else into consideration. We just get that feeling sometimes by, especially if you have like a strong personality or strong presence. So, and I also have to say, pile number 3, this guy, I was intending on using him for the reading, but then I decided I was just going to make the reading too long. I have actual 4 bottles. I was going to use 1 for each reading. But this bottle, actually, I knocked over, so I feel like it wanted to be seen. And with this, if you see like a slice of watermelon, somebody could love watermelon. Maybe you're like partaking with a watermelon with somebody. I don't know. But people want to talk about like how smooth you are, how you can surf through life, how it's almost like everything that you stand on turns to, I don't want to say monetary gain, but it seems like you stand on like high ground. And yeah, it's luxury vibes again. Not surprising, right? So it seems like you get your wishes fulfilled and that you have very gentle energy, and you have the ability to kind of like bob and weave and move and flow. It's like even during conversation, you can kind of navigate it or just kind of surf it and flow. And then before you know it, like you could have like skipped on to talk to different people and it's like, whoa, how'd that happen? Or like you can make a smooth exit and people were not expecting that, or you did it with such finesse that they would think that you're being deliberate or calculated, but it's really just like how graceful you are. Yeah, I get a lot of grace with this. You guys could be very, very graceful. Also, I feel like people want to message you and do a barrage of messages back and forth. And they don't really know like how they would go about that with all this darkness back here. It's the Eight of Wands. It's about like communication, rapid communication and quick succession. They want to like say things, but they don't really know like how to bring it about in order to make it relatable or make it to where it won't be weird, right? So I feel like, you know, do you know where I could reach her or him? Do you know what I could do to get him to talk to me? Can you give me her number, or what's their Insta, or any other way, right? 3 Witching Sisters, the power of 3. Interesting, because you chose pile number 3, right? And I'm hearing like 3, 6, 9. We have 2 9s right here. The power of 3. So this could be maybe that people are talking about that you are quite witchy, that you are awakened, and maybe other people around you are asleep. It could also talk about how you are the one that sees things, that you don't shy away, that you don't flinch, that you stare things and people right in the eye, and that you really know what is going on. You could be very intuitive as well, and that could be something that people say. But also people just want to talk about like your hair, something about your hair and how different it is, and how they like the color, they like the style, how, yeah, different. And something about the elongated neck. You could have like a very long neck, or they could be talking about like how they're fascinated by your speech. You could have a different cadence to your voice, a different tonality. You could be very musical. You could be somebody who sings, who writes poetry, all of those things as well. Very pragmatic as well, but people just want to know more about you. Like, where are you headed? Where are you going? Where can we contact you as well? So let's see what else we have. Pile number 3. You have cow. You're very nurturing and caring, but it doesn't mean that you have to cater to everyone. Screw that. put some boundaries up for yourself. Yeah, and I feel like people see you doing this actively. You could have the reputation of, you know, the queen of, the Nine of Cups, not the queen, but the Nine of Cups is like a wish fulfillment. And this could be somebody who is about to go through like all the processes, or you already have gone through the cup suit as well, similar to pile number 2. And maybe perhaps people talk about how like you've been taken advantage of, or because this is very light and dark contrast right here, and how it seems like, you know, your wish fulfillment, and why would people want to like use you or get on your bad side, or yeah, it talks about putting up boundaries, and maybe you have put up boundaries and people are talking about like, whoa, that's kind of wild, because this is like my wish person, wish man, wish guy, right? Fulfillment. And why is it that they have to put up boundaries? Why would people not respect, you know, having like normal limits, but people just do not? And so they want to talk about that. And they want to talk about like how you have cruised and navigated through different parts of your life that were not so easy. And how have you left those portions of your life that were not easy? What else? Squirrel. This is so mean. So don't let people continue to take the nuts from your tree for free. They better put in the work to get them. Yeah, don't come here to just take my nuts. What? Better be an equitable exchange. So, and this can even mean, you know, it's like people are very concerned with like whom you have smexy time with, and they want to discuss that and what was that like. If they ran into like an ex-partner of yours, they want to cozy up and kind of pick their brain and talk about that as well. Or any friends of the opposite or same sex, even doesn't make a difference. Have they been with you? So they want the down low about these nuts. There, I said it. So pile number 3, you could have like kind of a corny sense of humor, like dad jokes and things like that. I do, obviously. But that could be something that people really comment on when you leave the room. They're like, wow, it's like this dream girl, dream guy. I wouldn't expect them to have like these like corny jokes and stuff, right? So that would be one thing they talk about. Pile number 3, if this is sounding on the money to you, or if you resonate with this, if you can take a moment to please like, share, comment, subscribe, I would really appreciate that. Also, don't forget to click that little notification bell where we alert you that we are dropping further readings. You have the Elephant. Spirit is saying that you're a queen or king with very strong values, and your ancestors are constantly giving you guidance. Yes. And so some of you guys, actually, this is kind of like weird, but some of you guys, I'm being told, need to do something special for your ancestors. So whether you know, put out a beer or a glass of wine for them, or a meal for them, or a favorite food, whatever, or some exotic something, you know, just make sure that you do that in honor of your ancestors, because they would really appreciate that from you. And I feel like you'd get a lot more information, a lot more download as well. I feel like that would help to break a barrier, actually. That's for someone, not everyone. So the Abyss Tarot. Again, if you are coming from that channel, I want to thank you so very much for being here. Super grateful. She donated these cards to this channel, along with like 4 other decks, this one included, these included. So if you like them, go ahead and check out her channel. They're available for purchase. So what do people say when you leave the room? You see a lot, but you don't say a lot. And that's a feeling that I was getting. Pile number 3, I definitely feel like you restrain yourself. You do hold back. You don't speak a lot on what you observe. People think that you don't know because you don't say anything. And let me tell you, this makes you remarkably dangerous in a lot of ways, okay? But they're completely wrong. Okay, they're completely wrong about that, yeah. Just because we see things doesn't mean we have to comment on every little thing. It's good to observe, not absorb, and file that. Sometimes we just need, yeah, and I'm actually seeing it's like a cross between a squirrel and a fox carved into a tree. Interesting. So that squirrel, yeah, it's almost like people can think that you're always like thinking about one thing or the other, or moving on, like you move quickly in things that you don't observe, but you definitely do observe a lot. you don't miss much. The people that really know you know that you don't miss anything, in fact. And that could be something that that people really want to discuss when you leave the room. It's almost like, wow, you know, they're like, that's a beautiful gown or beautiful outfit, whatever. They are like magical, pile number 3 is. So what do you know about them? And that can come up in a conversation, because it's almost like your friends or mutuals or whomever. It's like, yeah, you don't want to mess with them because they observe everything. 1212 on camera right now. Be confirmation for one of you. And your last card, pile number 3. What is this? 4 of coins. So the 4 of coins did come up reversed. This is about like not really being open about things, not vocalizing things. And it came out reversed. So people could really talk about, like, maybe you did share, maybe you do share certain things. But I feel like with the 4 of coins, you're very reserved and you're very strategic on what you do share. So if you see a need to share that it can maybe help someone, or for whatever reason you decide to share, then you're gonna. But for the most part, I feel like your tendency is to withhold, and you don't, you know, you could be even a little bit like, I heard crabby. If people want to like delve into your business and stuff like that, you get suspicious. You're like, well, why do you want to know that? That's not, you know, your business. And maybe perhaps because of this witchy vibes right here, this can really tell us that maybe perhaps you are a witch, or you are very intuitive and on the money, and you don't want like a witch hunt, that sort of a thing in your life. So especially if you're manifesting, and I feel like the elephant, I feel like you could come from a long lineage of people that are witchy like that, and people could know that about you. Maybe people like question your lineage, like, well, you know, if they're that connected to spirit or ancestors and things like that, or if they're that witchy, where that they get that from, where they learn it from, was it from their parents or whatever. I learned a lot from my mom, and I learned a lot from studying, in fact. So that's how I learned, but people could want to know this about you. So that is all I have today. Let me know what you guys think. Again, go see the Abyss Tarot and see what she has for her part of the collaboration. And we will see you next time. Much love. Namaste.
Okay.
Hi, friends. My name is Grisel with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 4. If you chose this lovely image on the right-hand side of the screen, your downloads go as follow. What do people say when you, pile number 4, leave the room? This is a collaboration with the Abyss Tarot. What do people say when you leave the room? You're in your villain era, aren't you, pile number 4? You feel safe at last, and now you're speaking your truth. You're so unpredictable. You got people on edge, but also what I heard is, if they're innocent, then what are they scared of? You are growing. Your growth is now your foundation. Out of great pain and grief, you're laying layers of bad memories, toxic behavior, massive endings on the ground. And now it's like mulch or compost. It's simply enriching where you're building, and it's enriching your life, as well as the life of other people around you. So pile number 4, if this is you, or if this sounds interesting, then I will see you during the shuffle and subsequent reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you are new here, then I want to extend a super warm welcome to you. If you're coming from the Abyss Tarot, because this is a collaboration, I'm so glad to have you here. I hope that you find something that is helpful, something that's interesting or fun. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, thank you guys so very much. It's like my ride or die people, solid people. I'm so grateful. So pile number 4. What do people say when you leave the room? You have the 5 of coins reversed, and you have the 7 of coins. So we're going to read them exactly how they came out. So right off the bat, people are going to talk about maybe that some way, somehow they know that you've experienced a lot of losses, but that you only really focus on the good things. So you could have like a real positive attitude. Now, let me make this very clear. I'm not talking toxic positivity where everything is glowy and beautiful and great. I'm talking, I've learned a lot of lessons and things have been painful, but I'm grateful and I'll pull in that energy as I need to. But this has learned you how to appreciate the 2 of Cups that's always standing, right? So I feel like people really want to talk about your deep partnerships, the closeness that people have with you. They want to question that. How do they get that close to you? How is it that pile number 4 can endure so many things and yet still feel that closeness with other people, still feel open-hearted, be warm-hearted? How do they not focus on things, the atrocities that they've suffered? Also, what I'm hearing right now, I wasn't going to channel, but here we are. I'm hearing that if that had happened to me, there's no way I would have survived it. So there could be some, unfortunately, could be some gossip going on about you. Even this person feels like she's kind of hunched over, bent over in defeat or some kind of a heartache, heartbreak. And people could not know like the ins and outs about it, but it could be like widely known. Maybe you've spoken about this publicly, or it's happened in circles nearby that a lot of people know about it. I don't know. But because it's so nebulous, I feel like people don't really know how you have processed things. And they really want to understand that more. Now, pile number 4. You have the 7 of coins right here. And this always talks to me about, it's like, am I getting back my original investment? Are people putting in effort, elbow grease, blood, sweat, tears, money, time, energy, focus, vision into this? Can I help? Can I grow with them, or is it just all me doing the effort? So I feel like you frequently pause in your partnerships to look and make sure that things are balanced. And maybe perhaps people could talk about, like, you know, what transpired with you. It's like, well, how do you balance yourself, or how do you not feel like you're destitute or left out? Maybe you got left out of a will, or maybe you are the black sheep of the family, or maybe they want to talk about, like, well, you know, I know the rest of the family, I've never even heard of pile number 4, and now all of a sudden they come in, and not only have I not heard about them, but pile number 4 is pretty damn engaging, very intriguing, and I can't like get my brain off of them. So who is this person, right? And so pile number 4, you could have here in lucky 7s, you could be very lucky, even though you could have experienced a lot of like negative things in your life which are considered unlucky, right? I'm hearing even the plane overhead. So it could be something to do with travel, or the people are talking about you and travel, like where you are headed. I feel like you do have at least 1 trip, maybe 3 actually, with these 3 mounds right here. 3 trips, 3 trips on the horizon, and maybe it could be chips too, right? How they say chips on the shoulder. So maybe perhaps people are talking about how maybe they think you have a chip on your shoulder, or if they're talking about this thing like estranged, like you have an estranged family or estranged wife or husband or whatever, people don't talk to you anymore, or vice versa. They want to know the nitty-gritty on that. How and why are you estranged? And because you seem like actually pretty darn cool, but a little bit scary. That's a vibe that I was getting, downloading, channeling your initial information. Mend a broken heart, fairy, healing from heartache. Yeah. And this was evident. And this is where I feel like you've undergone a lot. And so this is for my group people that you've undergone like SA, or you grew up with people that, you know, are alcoholics or drug addicts, and you've had to survive, and you've had to really maybe even raise yourself, and you've had to do a lot. And maybe perhaps now people are like becoming aware of it for however that looks like in your life, because we're all very different. Maybe you have different colored hair, or you have at different times. Maybe you're MUA, you're like an artist and you do a lot of like makeup and things like that. But people are really aware that you are mending your broken heart, but that you're optimistic about it, that even though things have happened and transpired like against you, that it's not broken you, okay? You could have a little bit of an air or demeanor of sadness at all times, and that's almost like a residual what has happened, but you don't like focus on it or let it consume you any longer is what I'm hearing. My voice just went out. So pile number 4, if you are liking these kind of readings, if this is resonating with you, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It would help out the algorithm to push these readings out to people that really enjoy and could be used as being beneficial to them. Also, don't forget to click your little notification bell so that you get alerted whenever I drop further readings. So pile number 4, again, this deck was donated by the Abyss Tarot. It's called Animalistic Desires and Messages, and this one, California Love Vibes Oracle. So she made these. I love her creativity. She gifted me these decks along with some other ones I'll be using in the future. If you want to buy them, go ahead and go on her channel because they are up for grabs, you guys. We have the Bee. Be what you aspire, honey. And remember, your hard work will bring you sweet karma. So people could be wanting to talk about how hard you work to get out of this mentality where I'm shunned or nobody cares, or I'm pushed, you know, I'm the child that nobody likes, or I'm the dark horse, things like that, that you don't have like that attitude or mentality any longer, that maybe perhaps you have been, you know, subject to that kind of treatment, or people, you know, I had a great grandmother that refused to acknowledge, was she a grandmother? She was a great grandmother. Anyways, she refused to acknowledge me, and it could be something like that. So maybe perhaps they are talking about that, but could be generational. But I'm just going to say that people are really talking about how hard you work. This could be like your regular work or creative endeavors, but something that you've worked really hard to overcome, like a victim mentality, or you've worked really hard to overcome a lot of hardships in life, are the cards that you were dealt, no pun intended, right? And that you are, in essence, mending your own broken heart, and you're leading the way for so many other people to mend themselves as well. So good for you. I'm hearing actually a round of applause to you. Pile number 4, you have the Lizard. Feelings from a long-term friend will start creeping up on them, and they'll want more than friendship. What? Okay, so that's unexpected. So you might have some friends who all of a sudden start wanting to blur the line between friendship and intimacy and want to have that look something totally different. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with like maybe they get protective over you, or maybe perhaps like people that just meet you, they want to know how to be put on like a fast track to be close to you as well. The Mend a Broken Heart Fairy, it's almost like they want to come to your rescue because they do see like a residual sadness in your eyes. It could be, or a vibe or something in your look, or something that really tips them off that, you know, even though you're growing and things are so much better, that you still have a little bit of residual sadness that really you don't really share with a lot of people, or you strategically share with others. And maybe you're a counselor, or like a behavioral therapist, or a psychiatrist, psychologist. I don't know your life, right? But people could be talking about like how you use your own pain and your own history in order, is maybe fuel to help other people. It could be actually just like, maybe perhaps you have a channel and you're doing what I'm doing right now, like sharing, you know, how my great grandmother just wouldn't accept me, and how that was a challenge. I feel like I'm gonna need the cord here because my battery is about to die. Oh, here it is. Okay. I don't want to pause because it's more of a nightmare to edit. So one moment, please. So yeah, but you could be sharing on social media, like the things that you have undergone as well, and how you have been able to overcome things or look at things in a whole different manner in order to grow, right? So again, did we do the whole thing? Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the things to do. So yeah, your painful situations are very healing. It's a balm for other people in their soul. To really understand that they're not the only ones being rejected or won't be accepted into the family, or whether it could be like color, or you're come from like the wrong side of the tracks, or, you know, somebody wanted their daughter or their son to marry somebody totally different. Regardless, the end result is the same, that you feel. I heard wood funnel. I had orphan energy. So it could be, you know, just feeling left out, and having to take care of yourself, sort of a thing. So pile number 4, angel number 666. You're about to start meeting people to connect and love deeply. That's what's up. So people could really talk about this, how they want to connect with you, how they'd like to know more about your story, how you're very intriguing, and how when you do talk, it's like you do it from a place because of like the red cord around that image that you chose, right? Their throat was kind of intriguing to me. And that I affiliate it with the root chakra. And it's almost like you're vocalizing things when you feel balanced, when you feel safe, or you vocalize it in order to help other people feel balanced and safe as well. So there's a great energy and talk about you transmuting energy in order for it to be fuel for you instead of like fodder. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, but people are very intrigued, and maybe I feel like you're going to start like a group or some kind of a discussion where you could really be open with your life and things like that, if that is something that you want, or somehow that you are actually already doing this. It could be like a church group or a meetup group, anything, or just amongst friends. And then you have happiness is not one big thing. It's all the little things put together. Listen, I am ever so happy whenever I have ice cream, but in all seriousness, like happiness is the little things. I remember one apartment complex I was living with my son, and we would hear this ice cream man that would come close but never like into our area for whatever reason. And we would always stop what we were doing and we would like dance to it, because this person played like really old school tunes, and it was just like a whole vibe. And my son and I just loved it, and we both like immediately would vibe to it. So whenever the ice cream man would drive by, we would definitely enjoy ourselves in that way. And so you could be somebody who really thinks about how the simple things, the small things, are very important in order to create balance in your life and in the life of other people, and how you help people to really transmute a lot of that heavy energy, a lot of that grief that they've experienced. Not that you want to just overlook it and say, well, no, you need to get over it. No, but you help them to see that it's left them with a lot of, I'm hearing golden nuggets. So it could be that you help them to see, it's like, wow, you have like this incredible compassion now that you would never have had for other people. And look at what kind of a parent you could be, or you are, or you would be, whatever, because you have this awareness that you want to make sure that everyone is included or inclusive, that nobody is left in the periphery, and that people are seen. And I feel like you could be that voice to communicate hope and I'm hearing the usability. Is that even a word? We just said it though. Yeah, the usability of experiences like that, and how critical they are to really the composition of a person and the skills and the emotional intelligence of a person, and how that can get you so very far in life versus being limited because these things have happened to you, right? So a little bit more information. What do they talk about? We try to hide our feelings, but we forget that our eyes speak. Yeah. You could have very moody eyes or very beautiful eyes like this. You could have a gaze that when you talk, you can lock eyes with people, and people want to talk about that. It's like the way, it's like, why did she look at me like that? He look at me like that. but you have a way of people, like they feel seen, okay? So I feel like it would not be a bad thing when you look at them. They're kind of like, well, why am I so special? The number 1515 on camera right now, to have, you know, pile number 4 locking eyes with me, and they want to get more information about that from their peers or people that know you. Last card. Prosperity is yours. Yeah. So with the number 18, it reduces to a 9. And people want to talk about like your prosperity, like where you came from, how far it is. Like they would never have guessed that you came from humble means, or that the odds were stacked against you, or like once upon a time, you know, I've been homeless like many, many times. And one of the times, my mom actually scored this thing where we lived at a church, and she did, you know, work at the rectory and stuff like that in order for us to be able to have like a roof over our heads with our dogs and things like that. So maybe perhaps this is a source of, you know, stark contrast, and people really want to discuss it and they want to know a little bit more about it. But it seems like you are sitting pretty right now with that growth, with that abundance, and how you are a magnet. And definitely your demeanor, I feel like even your central nervous system could have maybe healed or slowed down, or you feel more at peace about things, and things just come to you. They just come to you naturally. Yeah. So that's all I have. Make sure you go see the Abyss Tarot and tell her I said, hey, much love to you guys. Until next time, namaste.